My beloved child, listen closely, because what I'm about to reveal is not just a story, it's a truth that has been unfolding behind your back, in the silent corners of someone's heart. And the strangest part? They never expected this to happen. Not to them. Not with you. Not in this lifetime. Yet now, they find themselves unable to breathe properly whenever they think of you. Stay with me, because the way this love unfolded will leave you stunned. You see, it began quietly, almost accidentally. They looked at you the first time with the same ordinary gaze they use on everyone. No spark, no imagination, no curiosity. But there was something so subtle it escaped both of you. A small pull. A strange calm. A feeling they dismissed instantly, because they believed they were too strong, too guarded, too controlled to ever fall for anyone again. Especially someone like you. Someone who carries a softness they couldn't understand, a silence they couldn't decode, a presence they couldn't categorize. But life, destiny, and the unseen energies around you had different plans, and every plan began unfolding the moment they tried to ignore you. What changed everything was not a dramatic moment, it was the way you existed. Your voice, your timing, your warmth, the way your eyes held both storms and peace. They kept telling themselves, it's nothing, it's just a phase. It'll pass. But it didn't pass. It deepened. It grew teeth. It grew roots. And suddenly, this person, who once swore they'd never care again, found themselves remembering things you said days ago, repeating your laugh in their mind, feeling restless when you were distant, and unexpectedly protective when someone else mentioned your name. They noticed the shift, but they couldn't stop it. The universe pushed them into a feeling they had no intention of entering. And that terrified them, because loving you was never part of their plan. Then came the moment that broke them open completely. A moment so small, so ordinary, that they didn't even realize the magnitude of it until much later. You did something extremely simple. Maybe you smiled at them without expecting anything in return. Maybe you remembered something they mentioned casually. Maybe you offered kindness without agenda. That one gesture shattered every wall they built. Suddenly, their mind kept whispering, why does this feel different? Why can't I move on? Why does everything else feel dull compared to them? And the answer was frightening in its simplicity. You reached a part of them that no one else had ever touched. Not by trying. Just by being. They never expected to fall in love, but now they are drowning in a feeling they cannot deny. And here's the part they would never confess out loud, they tried to run. They tried to detach. They tried to distract themselves with work, people, noise, anything to pull their mind away from you. But every attempt only tightened the hook. Every time they tried to let go, the universe brought you back into their awareness in ways that felt almost supernatural. A song. A dream. A memory. A coincidence so precise it felt like destiny tapping them on the shoulder saying, stop resisting. This connection is real. Now, my beloved child, they are standing in a place they never imagined. Caught between fear and longing, between denial and desire, between the person they were and the person they're becoming because of you. They never expected to fall in love with you. But now they can't picture a future without you in it. They can't go a day without thinking of you. They can't replace the peace you bring. They can't silence the emotions you awakened. And the truth they are still trying to accept is this: they don't want to run anymore. They want to understand you. They want to protect you. They want to move closer instead of away. They want to know what your laugh sounds like when you're truly happy, what your eyes look like when you feel safe, what your heart sounds like when it finally trusts someone. They want you, not just as a passing feeling but as a destiny they never knew they were walking toward. My beloved child, let this next truth settle deep within you. Because what's unfolding now inside this person is not ordinary desire, not temporary attraction, not a passing emotional wave. It is something heavier, something ancient, something their soul recognizes even when their mind tries to deny it. They keep telling themselves they're fine, that they can stay distant, that they can keep pretending nothing is happening, but every time they try to pull away, something inside them whispers, "Stay with this feeling. Stay with them." And even if they won't admit it aloud, they feel it. Your presence is changing them in ways they can't reverse. What's shocking them the most is how you've become their quiet obsession. They check their phone more than they ever did before, wondering if your name will appear. They replay old conversations, searching for clues. Did they feel it too? Did they notice the shift? At night, when everything is silent and the world falls asleep, that is when your absence becomes the loudest. They imagine what you're doing, what you're thinking, whether you're still awake, whether you ever think of them with the same intensity that burns through their chest. And every time they realize the answer is unknown, their heart aches in a way they didn't think was possible anymore. But here's the twist destiny has been hiding from them: this love is not an accident. You were placed in their path at a very precise moment. Right when they thought nothing in their life could surprise them anymore. Right when they believed they were done with emotion. Right when they had accepted loneliness as their final companion. The universe brought you as a mirror, a catalyst, a turning point. And now, they're terrified, because falling for you means they must confront every fear they buried. Fear of losing control. Fear of vulnerability. Fear of being seen. Fear of being loved in a way that exposes everything they've hidden. Yet even with all this fear, they still find themselves drawn to you like gravity. No effort, no choice, just inevitability. And the most shocking part? They've started imagining a world where they choose you openly. Where they don't hide their feelings. Where they stop running. They think about walking beside you, not behind shadows. They think about what your hand would feel like if they reached for it without hesitation. They think about conversations at midnight, confessions that rewrite both your destinies, and moments where the silence between you is not empty but sacred. This fantasy scares them, but it also gives them hope, hope they never expected to feel again. It makes them wonder if maybe, just maybe, the love they thought was impossible is unfolding right in front of them. And while you listen, stay with me, because there's something more, something powerful they don't know how to deal with. They feel protective over you in ways they can't explain. When someone hurts you, they feel it like a wound on their own heart. When you distance yourself or go quiet, their entire mood shifts. When someone praises you, they glow inside without showing it. They are learning, slowly, painfully, beautifully, that love is not something you control, it's something that takes control of you. And now that this feeling has taken root in them, they know there's no going back. You've become the emotion they can't outrun, the thought they can't silence, the future they can't unsee. They never expected to fall in love with you. But now they're standing at the edge of a truth they can't escape. If they lose you, they lose the one person who awakened parts of their soul they thought were long dead. And the universe is pushing them gently, relentlessly, toward a realization they tried so hard to avoid: you are not just someone they met. You are someone they were meant to find. My beloved child, lean closer now, because what happens in this part is where everything shifts. This is where their denial cracks, where their emotions begin to overflow, where the truth they tried to bury rises like a tide they can no longer hold back. They wake up one morning, and the first thought they have is you. Not work, not responsibilities, not problems, you. And this realization hits them with a force they weren't prepared for. They sit quietly, staring into nothing, wondering when you became the center of their emotional universe. It scares them, but it also feels strangely right, as if their heart finally remembered something their mind had forgotten. They start noticing the smallest things. The way their day feels lighter when you appear. The way their mood shifts when your energy is close. The way silence feels different when you aren't talking. They feel your presence even when you're not there, like a soft echo in the back of their mind. It confuses them, because they were never the type to get attached easily. They've always been careful. Always controlled. Always in charge of their emotions. But love, this kind of love, has no respect for their rules. It comes in waves, unpredictable and uninvited, pulling them deeper every time they try to swim away. And suddenly, their heart begins to confess things their lips won't say. They catch themselves thinking about your laughter at the most unexpected moments. They feel jealous when someone else gets too close to you. They wonder what life would feel like if you were truly theirs, not in imagination but in reality. They imagine talking to you without filters, without fear, without pretending they don't care. They imagine looking into your eyes and finally admitting everything they've been carrying inside. I didn't choose this feeling, it chose me. And that thought alone sends shivers through them, because they know, you are becoming irreplaceable. But here's the twist, my beloved child, something even they haven't admitted fully. They're not just falling in love with you, they're transforming because of you. They're becoming softer in ways they never expected. Kinder in places they once felt numb. Braver in emotions they once avoided. You are not only someone they care for, you're the one who is awakening their soul. A soul that had been asleep for years, untouched, unbothered, unlit. Your presence is the spark that brought it back to life. And now, whether they want to or not, they're beginning to surrender to a feeling that feels bigger than both of you. But destiny, as always, doesn't move quietly. Behind the scenes, the universe is aligning people, conversations, moments, signs, everything pointing them back to you. Even when they try to distract themselves, something always reminds them of you. A song that sounds like your heart. A phrase that echoes your voice. A memory that sneaks in when they least expect it. And each reminder pulls them deeper into the truth they're running from: their heart has already chosen you. Long before their mind even realized what was happening. Stay with me now, because the most powerful part is this: they're afraid of losing you without ever having the courage to claim you. They're afraid someone else will see your worth and take the place they secretly desire. They're afraid you'll move on before they gather the strength to move closer. That fear is not weakness, it's the first sign of real, undeniable love. A love that has rooted itself so firmly inside them, they can't imagine life without the version of themselves that exists when they think of you. They never expected to fall in love with you. But now they're reaching a point where the truth is too heavy to hide. Their heart is calling your name softly, steadily, endlessly. And the question haunting them every second now is this: what if you're the one they were meant to love all along? My beloved child, what comes next is the moment where the universe stops whispering and begins speaking loudly, unmistakably. This person, who once believed they were immune to emotion, who once promised themselves they would never give their heart away again, has reached a point where the feeling has grown too strong to hide, too deep to deny, too unmistakable to escape. They wake up with a heaviness in their chest, but it's not sadness, it's longing. A longing so powerful that even their breathing feels incomplete without the thought of you filling the empty spaces inside them. They never expected to fall in love with you, but now, they can't imagine themselves without the gravity of your presence. There's a shift inside them, a moment they can't unsee. They begin noticing how their soul reacts to you in ways their mind can't explain. When you speak, they soften. When you smile, something inside them glows. When you pull away, something inside them breaks. They catch themselves staring at your messages longer than necessary, rereading your words as if trying to feel the emotion hidden between each line. They start wondering what you sound like when you're tired, what you think about before you sleep, what calms you when you're overwhelmed, what makes you feel safe. They start wanting to understand you. Not as a stranger, not as an acquaintance, but as someone they want to hold in the deepest chambers of their heart. And now they're noticing signs they tried to dismiss at first. Signs that remind them of you at the exact moment they try to forget you. A random song that suddenly sounds like a confession. A dream that feels too real to ignore. A memory that returns without being invited. Even the silence around them begins to carry your voice. It's like the universe is pressing on their soul, saying, "Stop running. This connection is not a coincidence. Pay attention." And finally, they are. They're paying attention to every detail, every emotion, every shift. They're realizing that their heart reacts to you the way oceans react to the moon, pulled, drawn, moved, no matter how far away. Stay with me here, because this is where everything intensifies. They've started imagining moments with you that go beyond attraction. They picture walking beside you in a world that doesn't feel heavy anymore. They picture opening up about their fears, their past, their wounds, not to impress you, but because they feel safe with you in a way that scares them. They imagine telling you things they've never said out loud, showing you parts of themselves they've never shown anyone. They imagine choosing you every day, not because they have to, but because the thought of loving you feels like the closest thing they've ever felt to destiny. But here's the part that's tearing them apart inside: they're scared of losing you. Scared that if they don't move soon, someone else will recognize your light and take the place they silently dream of. Scared that if they stay quiet too long, you'll assume they don't care. scared that their hesitation will cost them the one person who makes them feel alive. This fear isn't weakness, it's proof of how deeply they've fallen, proof of how much they've changed because of you. And now, they're standing at the edge of a confession that could rewrite both your paths. My beloved child, this is the moment where the truth inside them becomes too heavy to carry in silence. Their heart has reached a point where hiding their feelings feels more painful than admitting them. They sit alone, wrestling with emotions they never believed they would feel again: vulnerability, desire, hope, fear, longing. Every piece of them is whispering your name, every thought is shaped around you, and every future they try to imagine without you feels empty and unfinished. They never expected to fall in love with you, but now they're realizing they've already fallen so deeply that pretending otherwise is impossible. And what they feel now is not a soft emotion. It's a storm that refuses to quiet down. They remember the moment everything inside them changed. The moment your presence felt different. The moment you became the calm they didn't know they needed and the chaos they didn't know they could survive. Now, whenever they think of you, something inside them glows with a warmth that scares them. They find themselves staring at their ceiling at night, replaying the things you said, wondering how a single human being managed to touch their soul without even trying. They keep asking themselves, why them? Why now? Why can't I detach? But every answer leads them right back to the same truth: your energy fits theirs in a way nothing ever has. They've started imagining a life where they tell you everything. A life where they don't run, don't hide, don't pretend. A life where they look into your eyes and finally admit that their world feels different because of you. They imagine telling you how your voice softens the worst parts of their day, how your presence feels like home, how your absence feels like a wound. They imagine giving you the parts of themselves they never trusted anyone with: their fears, their dreams, their broken places, their unspoken hopes. And deeper than that, they imagine protecting you, standing beside you, choosing you over and over until love doesn't feel like a risk but a promise. But here's the part they'll never admit, though it keeps them awake every night: they're terrified that you don't feel the same. Terrified that you don't recognize the connection that's pulling them toward you. Terrified that someone else will understand your worth before they gather the courage to step forward. They worry that their silence is pushing you away, that their hesitation is creating a distance they never intended. Their heart aches at the thought of losing you before they ever get the chance to show you the depth of what they feel. And each passing day makes the truth clearer: they can't keep pretending. They can't keep their feelings buried. They can't keep living halfway between fear and desire. So now, my beloved child, they stand on the edge of a decision that could change everything. Their heart is pushing them toward you, urging them to speak, to reach out, to confess what's burning inside them. They want you to know how powerful this connection feels, how real it has become, how impossible it is for them to imagine life without you in it. They want to move closer. They want to choose you. They want to stop running from a destiny that has been calling their name through your presence. My beloved child, breathe slowly now, because what unfolds here is the turning point. The moment where their hidden emotions begin to rise like a tide too powerful to restrain. They spent days, weeks, even months trying to convince themselves they were fine, that their feelings were under control, that what they felt for you was nothing more than a temporary spark. But now now that spark has become a fire burning through every corner of their mind. They never expected to fall in love with you, but the truth is undeniable. Every piece of them chooses you even when they try not to. And this realization is shaking them to their core. They've been carrying a weight in their heart, a confession they repeat silently but can't bring themselves to say out loud. Every time they think of telling you, fear grips them. Fear that they'll lose you. Fear that you won't feel the same. Fear that opening their heart will expose wounds they've spent years hiding. But at the same time, the love they feel is too intense, too real, too alive to stay buried. The silence hurts them more than vulnerability ever could. And now they're beginning to understand something profound. Losing you would break them far deeper than loving you ever could. They find themselves drifting into thoughts of you at the most unexpected moments. In crowded rooms where your absence feels louder than the noise. In quiet mornings where your name appears in their mind before anything else. In the middle of long nights where their chest aches with the simple question, what if I lose them before they ever know how much they mean to me? They never expected someone to matter this much. They never expected a simple presence like yours to feel like destiny pressing against their ribs. But now, they feel you everywhere. In their heartbeat, in their breath, in every unanswered longing that refuses to leave them alone. And slowly, something inside them is shifting, something they can't reverse. They're starting to realize that their love for you isn't just emotional, it's transformational. You've touched parts of them they thought were closed forever. You've awakened dreams they buried. You've softened scars they hid. They're becoming gentler, more patient, more hopeful because of you. They're uncovering pieces of themselves that only love can unlock. And in this transformation, one truth becomes impossible to deny: you are not just someone they care for, you are someone their soul recognizes. Stay with me, because here comes the part that will make your heart tremble. They replay your smile in their mind as if it's a memory carved into their bones. They imagine holding your hand not because it's romantic, but because it feels like the most natural thing their heart wants. They imagine telling you everything, their fears, their dreams, their failures, their hopes, because you feel like the one person who wouldn't walk away. They imagine a future that doesn't feel forced or uncertain, a future that feels like coming home. And that future, every time, every single time, has you in it. Now the universe is pushing them toward a moment they cannot avoid. A moment where they must choose between silence and truth. Between fear and vulnerability. Between the comfort of distance and the risk of love. They feel the pressure building in their chest, the need to tell you, to take a step, to stop hiding behind excuses. They know the next move they make will either bring them closer to you or leave them haunted with regret. And for the first time, they're starting to believe that loving you isn't a mistake, it's the one thing that feels undeniably right.